everybody, and welcome to the Weekly Scopes on the 4th to the 10th of August. Hi everybody, and welcome to this week's Weekly Scopes. If you've heard this before, you can skip, but this is just the intro on how I, formulate these astrology weekly readings. I use astrology and my intuition to give you advice how you can practically use the knowledge of the stars and the planets and apply them to your life. So my weekly scopes are all based on GMT time and on Vedic constellational astrology. So now I'm just going to explain what Vedic constellational astrology is and how it differs from Western astrology. So the precession of the equinox is sort of like something that happens in astronomy and astrology, where the Earth's axis undergoes a slow circular motion over 26,000 years, and basically this means that this motion causes a shift in the position of the equinoxes, and also the calculation Vedic and Western astrologies use. So around 2,000 years ago, the tropical and sidereal Vedic astrology signs of astrology were aligned in the same position. So if the sun was in Scorpio in Vedic astrology, it was also in the constellation of Scorpio in Western astrology. But because of the precession of the equinoxes, this has caused a gradual westward sort of like drift of the tropical Western signs. So basically these signs and the Western signs shift 1 degree with every 72 years. So as a result of this ongoing shift, when Western astrology says the sun is in the constellation of Pisces, it's typically in the constellation of Aquarius. Still, this is because the degree, orb and the date for Western and Vedic astrology are 24 degrees 24 days apart. So in Western astrology, the sun enters the constellation of Pisces around the 19th of February each year, but actually the sun doesn't arrive into the constellation of Pisces until the 13th to the 15th of March each year. And Vedic astrology takes this into account because it's based on the fixed star positions, and Vedic astrologers use sidereal calculations. So as a result, Vedic astrology takes into account the actual positions of the constellations in the sky at any given time, and also considers the precession of the equinox, adjusting for the shift in the position of the equinoxes over time. But in terms of Western astrology follows the tropical zodiac, which is based on the seasons rather than fixed star positions. Western astrologers also do not directly account for the precession of the equinox in their calculations as well, so this results in slightly different calculations and interpretations that are given whether we're using Western astrology or Vedic astrology. So yeah, as I said, Western astrology uses specific dates. So every year, regardless of where the sun actually is at the sky, the sun moves into Pisces around the 19th of February. So yeah, this discrepancy, this misalignment between the tropical zodiac and the actual positions of the constellations has led to a discrepancy between Vedic astrology and Western astrology. So I consider the actual where the sun and the moon are and where Mars and Venus are at any given time, and this is how I formulate these sort of like weekly scopes. So yeah, thanks for listening to this, and let's dive into this week's weekly scope. Okay, so now I'm just going to explain what parallels and contra-parallels are in astrology, because I use them in my chart interpretation. So declination in astrology is the measure of how far a celestial body is, such as the sun, whether it's either north or south of the celestial equator. And the celestial equator is an imaginary line in the sky above the Earth's equator, which us astrologers use in our interpretation. So parallels happen when two planets are on the same declination, either both planets are on the north side side, or either both planets are on the south side, and this alignment increases the influence of the involved planets. So it's similar to a conjunction aspect, as it amplifies their energy, making the effects of the planets more pronounced. Contra-parallels, on the other hand, happen when two planets are on the same declination, but one is in the north and one is in the south. So this alignment creates tension, which is similar to an opposition aspect, and it can lead to conflict, challenges and inner struggles between the energies of the planets involved. So contra-parallels highlight areas of friction or contrast in our lives, urging us to find balance between their opposing forces at play. When transiting parallels and contra-parallels happen, they can sort of like trigger significant events, shifting consciousness and periods of intense growth and transformation. So I look at these aspects closely during chart analysis to understand how planetary energies interact and influence each other during a specific time frame, to pinpoint key periods for personal development, relationship dynamics or career shifts, and other shifts like karmic shifts and stuff like that. Because I just find using contra-parallels and parallels gives me more depth in interpretation, so I use them. So contra-parallels and parallels in astrology serve as markers for potential challenges or breakthroughs, guiding us towards more self-awareness, love, acceptance, understanding, forgiveness for ourselves and others, and shifts in consciousness and growth. So overall, just a shift in our mindset if we allow for it. So parallels and contra-parallels just kind of like provide valuable insights into the complexities and nuances of the astrological interactions between planetary movements. So yeah, that's the end of what contra-parallels and parallels are. Okay, so as you know, I'm Amani. I'm your karmic, holistic astrologer, whatever order I say them in. So yeah, I'm the person behind all of these, and thanks ever so much for listening and everything. So yeah, the astrological flavours of this week. First, we've got Mercury making a contra-parallel to Saturn, so this is the same as an opposition energy. So it just means that Mercury and Saturn are kind of on the opposite side of the declination right now, if you want to get all geeky about it, which I like to. So yeah, so this entered on the 29th of July. Is at 8:39 p.m. on the 4th of August and leaves us completely on the 20th of August. So going to be affecting us next week and a couple of days into the following week as well. So a nice energy to work with. We've got Jupiter making a sesquiquadra to Pluto. So Jupiter's in Taurus and Pluto's in Capricorn. So nice, stable, fixed and cardinal earth energy, and this entered on the 2nd of August, is at 11:27 on the 7th of August and leaves us on the 12th of August at 9:14 p.m. And then we've got Mars making a parallel to Jupiter. So this means that Mars and Jupiter are on the same side. This is a nice energy. It entered us on the 22nd of July and this is at 9:12 a.m. on the 10th of August and also is at again on the 17th of October, and then leaves us completely on the 3rd of January. So this energy is really going to be lasting us now up until a good 4 months. So this is really potent energy that we can tap into. So I'm going to explain what that adds in a bit, but first I'm going to start with Mercury's contra-parallel to Saturn. So this week and over the coming weeks, because this lasts us right up until the 20th of August, there can be extra clashes between communication styles and with authority figures, so we can fall out with people because they can be like, I don't like the way you say this, and you can be like, I don't like the way you say that, or don't question my authority, well, I'm the boss of me, you're not the boss of me, and all of that can go on. But ideally, it can make us more fast-paced and quick-witted in our communication, and this is what can cause the problems, because people can be a bit more, faster with their comebacks, and this can clash with, Saturn's serious and structured approach. Saturn likes to discipline us, likes just to think, but I like Saturn's energy. I didn't always, but now I think it's what we need to follow through on our plans, especially if we are the more creative types, Saturn being structure, it brings, okay, you want to be a musician, a poet, or whatever you want to be. How much do you want it? Do you want it so much that even if you go through this, that in life, or everything just keeps them coming, the poo's always hitting the fan, do you still want it then? And this is what it's testing. The Saturn tests us, and this week we'll be tested on what we really want in our life, so we can have, challenges in thinking clearly, expressing our thoughts, and, have obstacles in negotiating, whether it's in business or in relationships, intimate relationships and stuff like that, and just problems making decisions. Our responsibilities can feel heavy right now. There can be delays and frustrations in our intellectual activities. It offers us the opportunity to work on improving our communication skills under pressure, increasing our organisational ability. So this is really good. The positives of it, even though there can be misunderstandings and conflicts, if we remain patient and diligent, just being aware, reading the room, reading the energy, trying to make peace, instead of war, things can turn out really good. So also this week, Jupiter makes a sextiquadrant. Jupiter makes a sextiquadrant to Pluto. So this brings a dynamic interplay between expansion and transformation this week. It allows us to focus on growth and just feeling abundant, feeling gratitude for the simplest things in life, whether it be the fact that we've got a toilet, we've got water from our taps, whatever. And Pluto in Capricorn emphasizes the power dynamics that can come up this week, so we just have to be once again careful with the things we say and do. It allows us to be open to rebirth and make deep psychological changes, and it kind of pushes us to confront our own beliefs around control, authority and personal growth. And it can lead to intense experiences that just ask us to make radical changes in our life, so we can just push through our limitations, and we can just feel a stronger urge than others to push our boundaries, get outside of our comfort zone, and to just radically change the things in our lives that need to be changed, And it just encourages us and supports us to embrace our inner power, face our fears, confront our shadows, letting go of the things we need to let go of, and to sort of open up to newness for us. So Mars also makes a power to Jupiter, so extra Jupiter sort of energy again, working with Mars and Pluto. And of course Mars used to solely rule, and some astrologers say it rules Scorpio, and Pluto is the new ruler of Scorpio, and some astrologers, and I say Mars and Scorpio co-rule Scorpio. So it's just this whole energy allowing us once again to push for that growth, to have more vitality, more energy, to feel more motivated, and we can work on our individual team goals. We can use it for physical exercise. We may feel more sensual, more sexual, use some of that extra energy there. It gives us the confidence to go after what we really want with energy and enthusiasm. So it allows us to just take bold steps towards our goals, and we just have to be mindful of not being too aggressive and impulsive, overspending, overstepping people's boundaries, people manipulating us and overstepping our boundaries. Just be alert, try and think before you react and act, and give grace and forgiveness for those who may lose their temper and apologise. Of course, don't accept abuse and stuff, but also be open to saying sorry and hearing sorry as well. So ultimately, use this energy to go after what you really want to make progress in your projects or whatever other goals you're working on, especially fitness and sort of like goals can do really well, or just projects that need that extra push, but avoid burnout. Make sure you take time out to relax and sleep. Sometimes there are benefits to burning a candle at both ends, but we can only do this for a short amount of time. I am a grand believer now, after many years of decades of procrastination, of consistency, taking those small daily steps to get into where you need to go. So the small action, knocking down that wall slowly. So now I'm going to talk about the days of the week. So on the 4th of August there's a new moon. If you want to know more about the new moon, check out the separate audio that I've done about it. The moon enters void, of course, and Mercury makes a contra-parallel to Saturn at 8:40 p.m. and remember, I talked about that earlier. On the 5th of August, Mercury goes retrograde. If you want to know more about that, check out the separate audio on the playlist. Also today, the moon enters Leo, and if you want to know more about that, also check out the separate audio on the playlist as well. On the 6th of August, the Sun makes a sextile quadrant to Neptune, and Neptune's in Pisces and the Sun's in Cancer. This enters on the 5th of August, is exact at 3:25 p.m. on the 6th of August, and leaves us on the 7th of August. So the Sun's sextile quadrant to Neptune blends creativity, intuition, and brings idealism and romance to the forefront of our attention. So positively, we can use it to be creative and artistic, use it for our spiritual growth and have increased compassion towards ourselves and others, and we can just find ourselves more in tune with our inner selves and wanting to be a bit romantic, affectionate, and just a bit silly, playful, but negatively it can make us confused and we can just become deluded and want to escape. And this Neptune energy always can, on a negative, even the positive ones, which this sort of is kind of, make us run to our toxic habits. So whether this be excessive alcohol, drug taking, or anything else that's toxic to your overall emotional, spiritual, financial, physical and emotional security, it can make us want to lie to ourselves. So we'll be open to others manipulating us, so we can fall kind of prey to deception, and this can lead to financial losses or time losses and stuff like that. So it's very important to, and I know it's scary, to try and face whatever it is you're trying to run away from. Whether, as I said, we've got a lot of energy this week supporting us in writing our emotions and taking that time out, if we're willing to put some time and effort to that energy to get to the bottom of some really serious issues in our life, and find creative solutions for them. So the best use of this energy is to explore spiritual practices, to do research and tools that can help you become more in line with yourself and more authentic in your personal expression. And we do this by getting real about ourselves, facing our hidden enemies, and these are the things that we run from normally, which are our processing that heartbreak, processing that trauma, because we feel that we're not strong enough and stuff. But believe me, I found it takes more willpower. It took me ages to get out of it, but once I did, and I do fall back into it, don't get me, this is why I say we're never healed, we're always healing, and it's always a process. And sometimes we're just a couple of steps in front of others and we can help them, but we're all kind of helping each other. I learned so much from people that come to me, and even by doing these weekly readings for you guys, it gets me thinking about things within myself. So it's best to we take so much willpower to run from our energy. So we feel it's easy because we get into that comfort, it's our comfort zone, it's our habit. But when we start to unpack and break out of it, we see how much will it took for us to be self-destructive. So this energy wants us to find a balance between our imagination and being practical, and to work with our logical side and our intuitive side to find more inner balance, using self-reflection and connecting with higher realms of thought and consciousness, and seek a deeper meaning in your life, and just explore your own intuitive abilities. And maybe meditation and mindfulness practices can help you, or looking into mystical and dig into mystical teachings that can expand your understanding of the spiritual sort of like dimensions of existence. Psychologically, it wants us to confront our inner fears, especially where we deceive, lie to ourselves, and fall into illusion, and just face our insecurities with compassion and self-awareness. So ultimately, today it's a time for exploring your subconscious mind, unraveling, getting to the bottom of your hidden emotions, and creating a sense of empathy, fostering a sense of empathy towards yourself and others. It creates, a dual opportunity for both creative inspiration and self-reflective growth. And, if we're open to navigate this influence with mindfulness and clarity, and being brave to face what needs to be facing, then we can really benefit from this energy. On the 7th of August, the moon enters void of course. Jupiter makes its exact sextile quadrant to Pluto at 11:28 a.m. The Sun makes a sextile to Jupiter at 2:37 p.m. and the Moon enters Virgo at 10:45 p.m. as well. So the Sun's sextile to Jupiter brings opportunities and challenges to us. Positively, it helps us to be more confident and optimistic and work on our self-expression, and just pushes us to do the things that a lot of energies this week are pushing us to do, with more enthusiasm and positivity. It can just make us feel more happy within, even about the smallest things. Just the fact we've got, like I said earlier, wanting more, and we've got someone who loves us, we have ourselves, we've got our willpower, whatever. Some of you may increase creativity and self-confidence, and this may give you the energy to do something you've been putting off, maybe delivering a new pitch at work, or telling someone you like them, or anything else you've been putting off, and this can help you catch attention of people that can push your career forward, or push you forward in whatever area of your life you kind of push yourself to ask for what you want in right now. And I'm not going to say that you're going to definitely get a yes, and but ultimately, life is a series of yes and no, green lights and red lights. So we have to learn to manage all conditions. So, if you do get a no, doing stuff, seeking out tools to build your resilience and be gentle with yourself. We don't like no, I don't like no. When we want something, we want it right. Let's just get real. But what we can do is kind of cut down the amount of time it hurts. When we run from it, something that can only, and I've tested this in real life, like that should only hurt us for like a day or two, or sometimes 5 minutes, can sometimes hurt us for years because we just don't deal with it, So yeah, just watch out for taking on more than what you can handle, and overspending and being too optimistic. But also, just be gentle with yourself as well, and strike a balance between being bold and courageous and practical to avoid setbacks right now, and watch out for getting, too carried away in your investments and stuff like this, because, as I said, it can lead to financial losses or wasting any of your other resources as well. Watch out for that. So yeah, the best use of this energy is to be confident and optimistic, be productive, take calculated risks, don't take impulsive risks, be grounded, focus on the things that are going to bring you long-term sustainability, not short-term gain and gratification. Don't spend all your money that you need for your rent in 10 days, that sort of thing, So, for example, a person may increase their self-belief to start a new venture, or, go after a passion project that they previously felt too intimidated to begin. Like, this energy gives us wins sort of thing. So if you have been sort of like, not a bit scared of starting a new podcast or anything else, that book or whatever, oh, everyone else is doing it. I believe everyone's got their niche. There's no need for competition because, some people will never listen to me as an astrologer, and I'm aware of that because they connect with others, and I'm fine with that. And some people will only listen to me. This is just the way that the world works. So we've all got our needs. So you can use this energy to go after what you really want right now, and sort of spiritually it wants us to align our inner purpose and outward expansion. So this means align the things we truly want with our outward actions and relationships and lifestyle choices, and of course you can't change everything overnight, but just writing down the things that you feel that you should change in order to become more in alignment with what you really want out of life. So this energy allows our sense of self to be in harmony with our quest, us looking for growth and abundance. It can allow us to manifest a deep connection to our higher self and power, and this can lead to powerful insights, some of you thoughts or dreams, or someone just saying something that really resonates with you, and you just feel like, I was meant to hear this, I was meant to see this, that sort of thing, and you can just feel like you're being guided towards fulfilling your true potential right now, and just have a strong sense of being supported by universal or higher powers that are encouraging you to dream big and pursue your goals fearlessly, basically. So it's a time to trust in divine timing and have faith in your journey, and practices like meditation, visualization and gratitude journaling can help you deepen your connection to your inner guidance. And by practicing things like mindfulness, staying attuned to sort of signs and synchronicities, even if something sounds silly, it's like, oh, it's only a show on the TV, it can't be a message to me. Maybe it is, and within reason, of course. We have to use our logic and reason, and just remember that balance is key, and this energy wants us to have faith in ourselves and take a practical approach to managing our resources and going after what we want in our life by being willing to change the things that need to be changed, build consistency into our life day by day, and to believe in yourself. So on the 8th of August, the moon makes a conjunction to Venus, and the moon enters its crescent moon phase. So if you want to know more about that, check out the audio and the playlist. So Mercury's conjunction to Venus. Venus is in Leo and Mercury's in Leo as well. So this is a nice energy working together. So it just allows us to be more gentle and affectionate, allowing us to connect deeply with ourselves and others. And we can just be more confident and open in expressing our feelings diplomatically and openly. This can lead to smoother interactions and understanding, but negatively, because we can be too focused on being pleasant and being nice, we can avoid deeper, more meaningful discussions and confronting the writing on the wall. We may be ignoring that someone's not into us, and we may not want to confront that, and we're just pretending, living in a fantasy. And this can just add to us being superficial and lacking substance and authenticity in the things that we do and communicate. So it's important to not skim the surface and miss out on addressing critical issues, address what needs to be addressing, This energy allows us to address things in a calm way, in a pleasant way, but, address what needs to be addressed. Do not live in a fantasy world. And of course, if everything is nice and lovely, this is a nice energy that expands that, and you and whoever you're saying this time with can enjoy just being in each other's company, leading to deepening of bonds and heartfelt conversations. And even if we are having conflict, this energy allows us to resolve them if we're open to being kind and listening to everyone's side. So on the spiritual esoteric level, it reminds us of the interconnectedness of communication and love and all things, and it gives us the opportunity to explore how our words and actions and expressions of affection or lack of expression, if we withhold emotions from ourselves, if we see them as a weakness, and how doing this can impact ourselves and those around us. A lot of the times, this unforgiveness, I know it can be hard, but when you think that a lot of the times that I've noticed, a lot of us carry things that happened to us when we were 10 or 5 or 20, and I know some, having experienced some horrific things myself, I know it can be hard, but one thing I promised myself when I was younger is not to let my past dictate my whole future, and this energy just really wants us to tap into that love energy and realise that, it's best to try and act with love and compassion for ourselves and others, but it also shows us the importance of balancing logic and emotions, and how this can lead to a more balanced decision making and problem solving in our life, and more balancing how we view emotions, because like I said, a lot of the time we've been brought up to view them as weaknesses, but they're not. They're showing us, anxiety and depression is showing us we're not happy. That's what stress and burnout and all the other psychological symptoms and that we can get, and emotions are showing us something's not right. We're angry for a reason. A lot of the time it's hard to confront the true reason, because that reason can be, well, I'm married and I want to leave, so it's hard. I'm not saying all of this stuff is easy, but we have the universal support to help us, challenge what we need to. So we have to find that delicate balance between nurturing our relationships and addressing critical issues that require our attention, whether it's about personal habits of ourselves or our partners or friends or whatever. But although it can be a bit challenging, this energy gives us a chance to strengthen our bonds through meaningful communication and to explore. Okay, so ultimately this energy gives us a chance to not only strengthen our bonds through meaningful communication, asking questions, providing a safe space, listening, understanding, showing affection, receiving affection, but it also gives us a chance to explore the profound connection between our words and emotions and our thoughts and actions. And if we use things like meditation and spiritual practices, or just chilling out, relaxation, self-care, how these can really help us manifest our plans and avoid burnout. What use is it to be able to work for 3 months solid, but you gotta take the rest of the 9 months off, or the rest of the 9 months of work is half productive? Isn't it better to just work at a steady pace, day in, day out, doing the best of what you can do, not marking down your priorities for the day? This is a technique, you can write down, your 10 things that you have to do that day, and things that you would like to do but they're not important. And if we do this every day, this is how we can tell the difference between the things that are important and not. So on the 9th of August, the moon's north node goes direct at 2:06 a.m. The moon enters void course at 10:45 p.m. And on the 10th of August, Mars makes its parallel to Jupiter. I talked about this earlier, so it's exact today at 9:12 a.m. And the moon enters Libra at 11:49 a.m. as well. So if you want to know more about that, check out the separate orders in the playlist. And so that's the end of the weekly scopes from the 4th to the 10th of August. Take care and see you next time. Bye bye now.